especially if you think back on a 10, 15, or 20-year career or beyond that, you've seen that evolution of not only the technology in marketing, but also your different audiences and what you've learned from that. So I think part of that evolution is what worked back then doesn't necessarily work now. So you have to try everything at the onset and put your hands into every possible opportunity that you can learn, whether it is content. Have a hand at that. Have a hand at social media. The thing with marketing is that not one element of marketing can live on its own. So if you say, I'm just a social person, that's all I want to do, well, I'm not really sure what you're going to distribute without working with the content person and being fully integrated into that content strategy. Or the video team is producing excellent content. You need to know the audience as well. But then if you're creating a gated piece of content that is really driving a lot of people down the funnel, you need to be able to understand how that demand generation works so that you can work with that team. So yes, I understand that you might have a real affinity for one area of marketing, but you have to understand, to be part of a successful team, you need to be able to integrate and take those skills across the board. So at the onset of your career, early years, I highly recommend having your hand in everything and understanding how each of those elements work into the greater organization of marketing. A great question, because I think if you're in this career long enough, you learn that you have to adapt all the time. And that's the only thing that is constant, is the change, especially if you think back on a 10, 15, or 20-year career or beyond that. You've seen that evolution of not only the technology in marketing, but also your different audiences and what you've learned from that. So I think part of that evolution is what worked back then doesn't necessarily work now. So prime example, the book What Got Me Here is not going to get us there. And so I think just that evolution of trying to be in the state of constant learning and really taking that everywhere you go. Along your little toolbox, you pick up these little tools, you learn. When I started my career, there was no such thing. Gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this. There's HubSpot or any Salesforce technologies that we could use to really bring that. And then, of course, being at Sales Loft with Kevin and having that opportunity to create a category, which is not something most people have a chance to do in their career. So there's so much you can learn from that, whether you are becoming a category creator or you are refining it, or you are being part of something that is not necessarily the front runner in that category or that space, but you're learning from what's gone. So I think everything that I've picked up along the way is what new tools and technologies are out there and forcing yourself to be part of that. There's nothing worse than seeing a curmudgeon in their field where like, I'm absolutely against this new technology. I don't want to know anything about it. And especially in the age of AI right now for marketers, you have to be on the bleeding edge of this technology that's coming out and really being a student in your practice in what you're doing. So trying to learn and then teaching your team along the way. So I think it's just that insatiable desire to keep learning, to keep trying new things and being okay with something not working. I think that's something that has really, I've learned along the way. And especially you mentioned some of the focus it has throughout the careers that if something doesn't work, it's okay. And you don't necessarily feel that way early in your career, but having that permission now to change and reroute and go in a different direction is probably a good skill to tuck into your tool. When you look at your career and you think about the skills that you have, I obviously came into my career with the skill set of the content, the brand, the social evolution, the events, and how that all fits together and the advertising side of it. There were many blind spots that I had as well that I had to learn to be dangerous at it, but not an expert. And I distinctly remember early on thinking, okay, do I go absolutely deep on this and become an expert on this one sliver of marketing? Or do you find a team or someone who complements you in what you do, and they are brilliant at this and they can help you run? Now, that's really challenging to let go of and to say, listen, I'm not absolutely skilled in this, and putting the company first, or putting your organization, your team first, to recognize that that's not your skill set, and having that mindset to say, listen, I'm going to know enough to be dangerous to manage this person or to help accelerate them or get the resources they need, but it's not my skill set. I know enough, but I can't speak enough to it. So I think that's critical too.